So an interesting idea came up because I've been not feeling very attached to the community or any community, and having a long discussion with a family member, a biological family member. I am kind of estranged from my family, and it's been like that for many years. And I wonder if that reflection, if I'm, the one common thread in all my failed families is me. And I'm wondering if I am not necessarily if I'm the reason that I don't feel like I belong to these communities, but if my expectation is a reflection of how my family was, and that I'm just expecting it to be different, and it's not. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? I'm still me. I'm still doing the same thing. My meanness. Why would I expect, literally a group of strangers to treat me any differently than my family does, my biological family does? And in that respect, these people are my family. But I have been, it's not a joke when I talk about like how I've been searching. And I even mentioned how my fan club, and it's I think it's pretty derogatory that I call them a fan club. When I was in college, even that group, probably the closest thing that I had to a place where I belong ever in my life, and I squandered it. I mean, what are the chances of me having something like that again? Slim to none. That was 30 years ago. And I haven't had anything close to that since. Anything close to that since. I'm not going to say that there was a group of perfect people, who were aligned with me in the way my thinking was, and who agreed with everything that I said. No, they didn't. There were times when they believed that if they did agree with me, that it would curry favor, and when that stopped working, they just basically were themselves, which I adored. And like I said, I squandered that group of people. I mean, we really didn't call ourselves anything. We really didn't, I was a part of it. It wasn't focused on me. I call them the fan club because because they were always there for me. But it wasn't like they were fanboying out or fangirling out on me. They were a support system that, one, I've never had before, and I've never had since. It is an amazing, when you think about it, how amazing that was. And when I think about it, it was really amazing. But yeah, I'm not close to my family at all. Some of them have known me all my life, and a few of them I've known all their lives. And in that token, there is an entire span of time, decades, that I've had no attachment whatsoever, or connection, or contact whatsoever to my family members. And when we get back together, or we talk on the phone, at our annual decade-long, how you've been the past decade type of meeting. I'm treated like I'm 13 years old, or we're all 13 years old, and this is a competition, and we're competing for our parents' affections, and all this other bullshit that we did when we were freaking kids. And it's like, I'm an old man now. I'm doing this. I out of my biological family, out of the family that I grew up with, and even friends that I grew up with, and friends is probably the wrong word, but the entirety of it, of my childhood, all my acquaintances, people that I've ran into, everything that I'm connected to from my childhood. Not my college years, my childhood. That entire thing, even though I've announced it, even though I just went back on Facebook and made a big freaking stink about it, and I did a whole big thing and wished people happy birthday and did all these things on freaking Facebook just recently, none of them know that I'm a freaking streamer. None of them know I'm a YouTuber. Not a single one. There's only one person in my family, and it's the person who I was having the conversation with, that even knows that I stream. That even knows that I do any of this. That I tell jokes and draw and sing. Only my mom. That's it. That's how disconnected. I've been doing, I know it seems like, oh, he's only been doing this for a year and a half. And it's like, no. I've been streaming for a decade. This is my 11th year of streaming. That's what you guys, that's what even people here don't realize. That I've been, almost secretly a streamer for that long, for over a decade. I've only recently been actively trying to make it work and make it, because I have hobby time, my hobbies, and I was doing all these other hobbies and giving them a year, and this came up, and it really did, I have to say, as much as I crap on freaking being a streamer, my 50th birthday, it really helped me through. If I don't know what I would have done. I was absolutely depressed and devastated at the fact that the pandemic happened and COVID was raging across the United States, and I could not, in good conscience, put friends and family from my entire life in danger. I couldn't. I had to cancel it. I actually thought that Trump was going to get reelected. And that we were all going to literally just be on the verge of death. And, all these rich people in the United States who basically are just bleeding this country dry would have to either leave or save this United States. We'd have to wait for the millionaires, the oligarchy, to basically deem us worthy of saving. Because that would be that was literally the direction we were going in. And I don't think these billionaires and trillionaires and whatever the fuck heirs they are give two fucking shits about us. As a country. And that they would have taken their wealth and gone elsewhere. I don't want to pick on how the South American countries or even Mexico got into their current state, and they're not a world power like the United States. But I will say this: the direction that Donald Trump was headed in, and the ruining of the Constitution and the office of the presidency, this country was going to be in worse shape than any South American country. To the point where Mexico would close their fucking borders to us. That's the direction we were headed in. And I don't know, 4 more years of it, he might have just done it. The pandemic, he might have had that set with only millionaires getting freaking vaccinated, while the average person just dies. I mean, you've already built the infrastructure of where people who are impoverished, you can't basically function without governmental help, were believing this was all a hoax. It's already freaking, the seed was already sowed. There are still people who believe that this was all a big giant hoax. Lost family members. I've lost family members to COVID. Because I lost a family member to COVID is the reason why I canceled my freaking birthday. That is the reason. And I sat for a half a year, literally devastated by that. So I give streaming has a freaking soft spot in my heart for what it did for my 50th birthday. And it is the fact that I freaking, I thought I squandered it and freaking, went off on the Twitch freaking routine and, did not, stick to my guns and, try to make being a YouTuber work. And I just basically squandered it. is the reason why. The people who support me, the people who basically are, just trying to help me out, and they see the potential of something awesome. Those people are absolutely incredible. And the sad thing about it is almost all of them are not in the community that I belong to, that I've been holding on to for dear life, because it is the remnants of being a part of my Yoni's community, and that is the reason why I derailed my entire YouTubing, was for my Yoni. And when that came crashing down, and it's not like, oh, it came crashing down, after a while. No, it almost came crashing down instantly. The Forever stream only lasted 13 days. Not even a full 2 weeks. And I already had derailed my entire YouTubing thing because of my Uni. There's a reason why when you see how many parody songs I was singing, they all seem to center around her for an entire freaking 3 or 4 months. Because of 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks was over, I held on for dear fucking life. And when it just started looking like it's just another, like I felt like I was scammed. I felt like I was part of a cult or something like that, and I just had a wake-up call. Like, this is a cult. It's like every other fucking cult. There's nothing special about this. And that's where people, that is exactly where people get me completely wrong. They think I left because she was banning people. I left because there was nothing special about this. Yeah, if I wanted that, what my Uni's community was offering me, I would have just gone to the precious family of Iron Mouse. That family was more welcoming. That family, called itself a family instead of a fluffle squad. That family, that community, was more inviting, more helping, more everything than the Fluffle Squad has ever been. And I turned my back to that. The science team, more of a community than ever. And I joke around in in my Project Melody parody that I can't join the science team because I'm broke. No, that's not what it is. I'm not a part of the science team because I chose it. And they're that's a close-knit group. And I was one of the early people in it. Uni said the right things at the right time for me. Her actions, not so much. Out of all the streams that I watched of hers, only one was amazing. The rest of them was kind of like, what's going on? Like I was doing a WTF the entire time. there was really nothing special about it, except for the fact that she was doing a forever stream and pretty much sleeping almost the entire time that I was actually watching her. When it actually got to watching her streams and her doing things, watching her scheduled streams, I should say, and her doing things, there was not a single fucking thing special about her. She's wonderful, she's great, she's all those things, but there's not one single thing about it, and her community was partially toxic anyway. But that's like most communities. And I'm not gonna say she chose the right people to get rid of or anything, but she did definitely broke up her toxicity. Whether she's got new toxicity or not, I don't know. The only reason I'm with the people that got banned and kicked out of the Fluffle Squad, the only reason I'm with them is because I thought that they were going to build what should have been my Uni's family. Instead, what they built was the exact same thing. It's just that they're on a smaller scale. They haven't built themselves up to the scale that Mayuni was at. And none of them are even anywhere near the level that Mayuni was at when I found her. And she was on the low end. She was on the low end of where Nux, she could be a mutual of Nux talking. I don't know if he's got a threshold like that, but it definitely seems like it. But it could be that he was just not interested in anything that I was doing. And I am not interesting enough for Nux Taco to take notice. I am forming my own group. It is, going to be exactly what I want it to be. Somebody has something that's similar or can do the same thing, I'm interested and I'm open to it. So if anybody out there who's watching this, since nobody really would watch it anyway, but if anybody's watching this and has a community or knows of a community that they believe is realistic. I always laugh because Haruka, does the "this is not a cult" with her community, and they actually act like they're a cult, and I think that is absolutely adorable. But I also like it because they're not placing any unrealistic expectations on the community itself. And most of the people who've actually built a following have a following like that. They have to do some culling. I know that that's probably the most painful thing for them to do. They have to not even acknowledge people who aren't aligned with them. the main reasons that somebody like Iron Mouse doesn't have time for somebody like me. Somebody like I'd like to think that somebody like Nuxtaku just doesn't have time for somebody like me. His days are filled, and adding me to that list of things, I'd have to really show that I'm dedicated to it, and I'm not. Doing a fake, being a fake nemesis, and doing that whole routine, that takes a fucking lot. That's a freaking job and a half, and I hate to say it, even if he didn't even if he played the whole like, oh yeah, you're not really my nemesis, my nemesis is somebody else, a real streamer, unlike you, if he did that whole thing with me, and boosted, helped boost me to a thing, I couldn't maintain that. I would have to end up the cat would be out of the bag. I'm not a freaking actor. I'm not a voice actor. I don't play a role. You just get me. And you can thank my freaking professor in college for freaking telling me not to act, because I have never pursued anything more than just being me. But I couldn't maintain it. There's no way I could maintain it, because I don't have any animosity towards Nux. I don't have any hatred towards Nux. I don't have anything. I pretended I was mad at him for changing the rules. I wrote the rule changing in a couple of songs. Especially the Cursed Apology, it had nothing to do. There was no anger or anything like that. I was only doing it for the laughs. And somebody actually said that I must be really mad at friggin' Nux, and I'm like going, I have never been mad at Nux at all. I mean, just listen to the songs. I'm more mad at myself for not being better. Especially the Nux songs. I got the three King George songs and the apology. And Nux is also mentioned in While My Uni Sleeps. I have nothing but love towards Nux. I had a long chat with people when the Forever stream ended, and yes, I was upset. Yes, I was voicing my opinion about how I think that you can't be changing the rules in midstream, and you can't allow her to have the phone stream going when you can't when her regular computer because her OBS shut down, or whatever the reason was that she stopped streaming. You can't allow it at one point and then basically say, because we want this to end, you can't do that. I was definitely one of the people who voiced my opinion. But was I mad? No. This is all for content, and he got more content than he ever thought he would get or ever use. He would never use. When the Forever stream had ended, he had like 2 videos for the Forever stream, basically doing like a status update, and then after that. He used a 1 for the victory lap, and then that's it. So 3 videos, I think he got from 3 videos of content that he got from it. you know, 10 people, 2 weeks of freaking content. mean, he would be sifting through that forever. Forever. I didn't even check the time. I think I left a little early. Yeah, usual time. Yeah, it's. I think that I did an abrupt distancing from them before, and it broke my heart. If you really want to know the truth, it 100% broke my heart when people were telling me not to go, and I have already kind of put out the feelers this time, and I think they're either tired of me or they don't see it, because they're not supporting me anymore. And when I bring up that anymore, I have to really, shed doubt on the fact that they supported me in the first place. I hope, I'd like to think that I was a fun thing to do while we were online together. That I brought some joy into their lives, but now that I'm moving on and I'm going in a different direction, and the only thing that would keep them connected to me is if they followed me here on YouTube. That's it. Discord's gonna go away. I'm gonna even stop posting in my Discord page. I'm just gonna let it sit and basically die on the vine. I'm already having trouble logging into Discord to begin with. It's hanging up. I think there was an update that never got fully done, and I think my computer crashed in the middle of it. And now every time it sees it, it thinks it's running right, and it has to go through an entire check, and it seems like it's doing a whole new download, even though that's how it always opens up anyway. Feeding the wampuses or whatever freaking it does, and taking 2 hours to get in. Discord definitely has a purpose, and I think that I'm going to probably utilize other people's Discords for what I need and be a part of that. But I am, as far as this community that, for now a year, it's been a year since I've been a part of this community. Even though October, late September is when things went down, and October is when I was with the group. These are the people that I've been with, for over a year. And last year at this time, I was literally just spinning my tires. And I support whatever endeavor they have, but I'm not going to be there for them anymore. It's just heartbreaking. And they don't even see it. I think that's, if I had to say what freaking kills me about this whole thing, is they don't see it. They think there's something more. And there's only a limited amount of funds. Most of them are broke or in debt or having money troubles and stuff like that. and still they're trying to live this lifestyle. And one of the people literally is giving out hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and I almost hopped on that bandwagon, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I'm able, because if he ever wants to know what honestly I think about things, because if he was paying me, he would be paying me for affirmation. And I think that, because he did give me a little bit of money, and I think that with a little bit of money that he gave me, I think that I was already doing that. So, I mean, literally supporting people. But I'm watching them all. Yeah, and I'm even watching new people come in and thinking like, oh my God, look at this community. It's they're literally sharing money around and stuff like that. And yeah, they don't understand that the money is going to end. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're having a wonderful time doing it. And always, if you did watch it all the way to this point, or if you just skipped to this point, put the cool beans in the comments below. I really would appreciate that. Lets me know that you're thinking about me. All right? And as always, cool beans. All right? Take care.